how to calculate pot odds. So I know that a lot of people that follow me, including my friends and even people that I don't know, are newer to the game. They don't have basic understanding or fundamental knowledge about poker in general. So I decided to start this series, Poker Basics Explained, in order to explain the basics of poker, just as the title says. And hopefully this can help some people improve their game a little bit by understanding the basics and getting some fundamental knowledge about the game. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So first episode of this series, I decided to make it about calculating pot odds and calculating equity. So let's get right into it and see what we can figure out about calculating pot odds from a spot that we had recently on stream in the $11 Sunday Storm. Anyways, Queen suited here. This guy opens from a 10 big blind stack, so we're gonna isolate him, trying to get him all in. So are these the spots where I'm supposed to fold Ace Queen? He's gonna have jacks and tens, right? Yeah, I think we call this. He's gonna have a lot of stuff that we flip against, so... Okay, so as you can see, we have 28.7% equity here. So this sounds terrible, right? We are going to win only 28.7% of the time. So this means that our decision is bad, right? Well, no, because now we're gonna talk about pot odds and what pot odds are, how you can calculate pot odds, and why this is actually a profitable call, even though we have 28.7% this time. Okay, so what are pot odds? Pot odds are basically the equity that you need to call. What is equity needed to call? Well, equity needed to call is basically the percentage of the time that you need to call and win the hand in order for this to be a profitable play in the long run. So let's say we have a pot that is 100 and our opponent bets 100. The formula for calculating pot odds is to divide the size that you need to call, so the size of the bet, by the total amount that the pot would be if you were to call. So the pot right now is 100 and our opponent bets 100. So we need to call 100, so we divide 100 by the amount of the pot that it would be after we call. So 100 in the pot, our opponent bets 100, that's 200. If we were to call, the pot would be 300. So we divide 100 by 300 and we get 0.33. So if we multiply this by 100, we get 33.3%. This is the equity that we need in order to make this a profitable call. Okay, so we calculated that we need 33.3% in order to profitably call. That's great, but how does this actually help us in game? Because nobody actually opens up a calculator while playing and starts doing this math while facing a pot size bet. Nobody does this. So this is work, the maths in poker, the maths work that you do, you usually do it before you play. So that when you face a certain situation in poker, you have the instinct, you have the trained ability to instantly know what you're going to do. Instantly know your pot odds and you don't calculate them during the game. So let's give another example. Let's say that you have a flush draw on the flop. So flop is 10 of hearts, 9 of hearts, and 8 of clubs. And you have the deuce of hearts and the 3 of hearts, for example. So you have a flush draw on the flop. Your opponent bets pot. He bets 100 into 100. The equity that you need to call is 33.3%, right? Well, how do you know how much equity you have with a flush draw? Well, let's calculate that. There are 52 cards in a deck of playing cards. 3 of them are on the flop and 2 of them are hearts. So out of the 52 cards, you have, if you divide it by 4, because there are 4 suits, so you divide 52 by 4 and you get 13 cards of each suit. So out of the 13 cards of each suit, 2 are already on the flop and 2 are in your hand. So this leaves you with 9 total hearts left remaining, right? So 9 total hearts remaining, and in order to calculate the equity that you have, so this is basically the chance of hitting a heart, you have to divide 9 by the remaining cards. So out of 52 cards, we see 2 in our hand and we see 3 on the flop. So 52 minus 5 is 47, right? 47 cards left. So out of those 47 cards that are left, 9 of them are going to be hearts. And we need to hit one of them. How much is 9 divided by 47? Well, 9 divided by 47 is 0.19. So 19% chance of hitting a heart. But that is only if you draw one more card. So you have a chance to hit this card on the turn and then you have a chance to hit this card on the river. So if the turn is, let's say, the 6 of spades, well, now you have, we calculate here the 19.1%. Now you have 9 more cards left that you need to divide by 46 cards remaining, because the 6 of spades is already down. So 46 cards remaining means you're gonna have to divide 9 by 46 and then multiply by 100 to get the percent. 19.5%. So almost the same percent. So this means that in total, when you're on the flop, so the 6 of spades is not yet dealt, you have 19.1 plus 19.5, which equals 38.6%. This is the equity that you have with a first draw on the flop. So, as you remember, we calculated that facing a pot-sized bet on the flop, you need 33.3% equity to call. So this means that when you face a pot-sized bet on the flop, you can always profitably call with a flush, first draw. So this actually helps in game, right? So now let's get back to the pot that we had in the 11-hour Sunday Storm, where we called with ace queen suited and had only 28.7% equity against our opponent's ace king. So it seems like we made a bad decision, but if we do the maths, we're gonna figure out that it's actually a profitable call in the long run. First, let's start by calculating our pot odds, or the equity that we need to call in order for this to be a profitable decision in the long run. So most of our brains, we as humans are really bad at playing with probabilities, dealing with probabilities, and most people, by default, they think that you're supposed to win more than 50% of the time in order for something to be profitable. But that's not true, and now we're gonna explain why. So to calculate our pot odds, as we see here, we have to call 16.7 big blinds. So on the bottom right you can see this. 16.7 big blinds is the amount that we need to call. So 16.7, we're gonna need to divide it by the amount of chips that the pot would be after we call. So as we can see, our opponent has made it 28.2. So this means that when we call, we're gonna invest 28.2 in total, which equals 42.4. And there are some antes and blinds in the pot, which in total equal 4.4. So 4.4 plus 42. Okay, let's calculate it in the calculator. So 42.4 plus 4.4, 46.8. So this is the amount that the pot would be after we call. And we're gonna need to divide 16.7 by 46.8. And we see here that if we multiply by 100, we need 35.6% equity in order for this to be a profitable call. So let's say that our opponent goes all in there with ace king, 9s plus, so 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, and aces. Let's say that this is the only hands that he goes all in with. Let's say he plays very tight from there and he doesn't want to go all in with a lot of his hands. So let's start calculating. We have 6 combos of jacks, right? Because for every jack, for the first jack, you have 3 more jacks that you can pair it with. Then for the second jack, you already paired it with the first one, so there are 2 more left. That's 5 combos total. And the third jack, you pair it with the last fourth. So 6 combos of jacks, 6 combos of 10s, and 6 combos of 9s. This means 18 combos that we have 50% equity against. Because as you know, in poker, when you have 2 overcards, so we have an ace and a queen, against an underpair, it's a 50-50. It's a flip. So 18 combos that we have 50% equity against. Why is this important? We're gonna get down to this later. We have queens, but queens we don't have 6 combos of, because we have a queen in our hand. So this means there are only 3 queens left in the deck, which means 3 combos of queens, because 1 queen with the 2 left and the second with the third, right? 3 combos that we have 30% against, because against ace queen we have 30%. 6 combos of kings, because it's a pair, that we have 30% against. So this is in total 9 combos of hands that we have 30% equity against. Then he's gonna have aces. Well, aces, there are only 3 combos, just like with the queens, because we have an ace in our hand. So 3 combos that we have 10% against, or something like that. We have really low percent against aces. And then ace king. So ace king, usually there are 16 combos of ace king, because you have 12 combos of the offset kings and 4 combos of the suited kings, ace kings. But when we have an ace in our hand, we reduce those combos again to just 12. We reduce them by 4 because we have one ace in our hand. So 12 combos that we are dominated by, and we had 28.7% against ace king suited, but against the offsuit ace king we're gonna have like 32. So let's get the middle, and we have around 30% against the ace kings. So how does this help us? Well, in total we're facing our opponent's Owen range. It's gonna involve 39 plus 3, 42 combos. We now need to calculate the total equity and that we have against his range. Okay, I misclicked a little bit in the calculator and we got some wrong numbers, so let's do it again. 18 times 50 plus 9 times 30 plus 3 times 10 plus 12 times 30. So this equals 1560. Now we divide it by the total number of combos, which is, as we calculated, 18 plus 12 is 42. So we divide by 42, and we get that we need that we have 37% equity against his range. And as we calculated earlier, we're gonna need 35% equity in order to make this a profitable call. So this is a profitable call in the long run, even though we don't win more than 50% of the time. So this is something that the human brain has a really difficult time understanding. Most of our brains, they're designed to work they're not designed to work with probabilities. So you feel like when you lose more often than you win, you feel like you're losing, right? But in poker, if you win 40% of the time, this means that you're actually winning chips in the long run, even though you don't win more than 50% of the time. And this is something that the human brain has a really difficult time adapting to, and that's why poker can be confusing sometimes. But as we see here, we need 37% equity in order for this. We need 35% equity in order for this to be a profitable call, and we have 37 against his range. So this means that this is a profitable call. Okay, so guys, I really hope you got something out of all of this. You know, nobody likes doing maths. It's tedious, it's boring, but it's an important part of the game. So that's why I decided to put it in the first episode so that we can get it out of the way. And from here on out, I'm gonna do some more practical spots. So I'm gonna do videos about stuff that can be used more in practice without all the maths. And I really hope that this becomes some sort of series where we can help newer players, get them into the game. They can start having fun. So yeah, it's a really good game. I really want to promote poker. I like the game, so that's the idea of this series, explaining the basics so that more people can get into the game and start enjoying it, because it's an awesome game. So I'll see you in the next episode. No more maths, I promise. And yeah, see you.